Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Eating While Broke. I'm your host, Coline Witt, and today we have very special guest, comedian, writer, actor, producer, and the best part I have to add, well, it's not the best part, but the part that intrigues me the most that I did not know is puppeteer.
Hey.
And I like, literally, when he said puppeteer, I was like, wait, is that what I think it is?
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to have a comedian CP in the building.
What up, though? What's going on? Hey, man, thank y'all for having me, man. First of all, I'm a big fan of the show, believe it or not. Like, mainly because I'm greedy and I be want to know what everybody else be eating, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, like, so I'm excited to be here and bring my little dish.
Yeah, and you're like really rolling out the cooking part of this dish. Before you announce what the dish is, I do want listeners to know, I actually tried to get CP from the concept of this show. I think I tried to get you. So it has to have been almost 2 years to get you, just to let you know. And then I had to tap the husband and be like, come on, man. Yeah. Come on, man. You know? Right. And then I think one day we were having a bad day and he's like, shot me a text like, you see, I reached out to CP for you. And I was like, thank you.
He did. He was like, man, my wife, man, he ran down the whole. I'm like, man, I'm familiar with that. I just, man, it was just, you know.
I'm excited to have you here.
Y'all was reaching out to me, man, but I'm excited to be here too.
I was really, and then I stayed on top. Did you notice? I was like, you're going to be here. You're going to be here. I tried to guilt you in too. I don't know if you caught that little manipulation.
I didn't catch the guilt. No.
Okay, yeah. I tried to throw in a little manipulation on the last
I was going to be. I just came off the road, so the date was perfect. I set it time to be here, so I'm here.
I'm excited to have you. So what are you going to be cooking me today?
I call this my shrimp fried ramen noodles.
Okay.
Right now, this dish, man, this is like when I first started cooking, right? This is like one of the things that I used to practice cooking because noodles give you like a good base. And so you could like doctor them up and learn how to, like really set your taste buds off with noodles. Really, it was noodles and eggs. So like different kind of omelets and different kind of noodles was like how I learned how to put stuff together. And you could use that kind of technique on any food. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just, you got to have a base and a way to season it up. So
yeah, when you said ramen, I usually actually, anytime a guest says ramen, because it is the number one broke dish in period. So every time ramen comes up, I'm like, unless you're doing something crazy with it, it's not welcome on the show. Come try again. Give me another dish. But I had a low bar set for you in my mind. And then you came here and you're pulling seasonings and you're choosing sauces. And I said, oh, snap. He's really about to cook for me. So this is legit. So since it's legit, move on up out the seat and get in the kitchen.
All right. So what I like to do is I like to start with my little base. So like my little shrimp sauce, right? Okay. So I do like
you don't start boiling the water first, or?
Well, yeah, I guess I can start boiling the water first. My bad. This is a electric stove. I usually got to.
Yeah, so it's the top. Yeah, you know what you're doing. Just so you know, my history on the show, people know this is I burn guest dishes. So if I give too much input, you're welcome to shut me up.
You be burning?
Yeah, because I'll be like, nah, it should be good, and they be like, nah, I think it's burning. So now I like try to not get involved in the cooking process. Let y'all do the thing.
Okay, so this, so let me back you up. My dad was a chef in like strip clubs and like bars and shit back in the day, right? He was the nigga making the steak bites and the, you know what I'm saying, the little wings and stuff. And then my mother is a caterer. And so my mom caters to this day, and she is a pastry chef for some of the major casinos downtown in Detroit. She actually just retired.
Are both your parents still in Detroit?
Yes.
Wow. First of all, this is why this whole cooking process of your life snuck up on me, because you had secret aces in the hole. You had your parents
Right.
Now, did they meet because they were both into cooking?
No, they met when they were 13.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
They've been together like their whole lives?
They've been knowing each other their whole life. They're not together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But they've been, they were kind of like really good friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, they were boyfriend and girlfriend back in the day, but then also, they were just young, so they went through that whole, just trying to find me, you finding you, But they made me, and I was pretty dope. Now I'm gonna, I got the butter going.
I like how you use a lot of butter.
Yeah,
That's my type of people.
Well, this butter is gonna be the base. So, in this sauce, we don't just use the ramen noodle packet sauce. See, that's the thing. We not worried about that packet sauce. Yeah. This is our sauce. I'm putting some onions in this butter.
Okay.
Start getting these onions to saute. Okay. Someone provided some excellent corn. I'm gonna start some of this corn.
Yes,
I'm gonna wait to add the corn because I want I don't want no corn on my shrimp.
Just so y'all know, I was the one that added the corn. CP said vegetables, and I just said, "Oh, that must mean corn." And he was like, "Corn? I meant onions." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
I'm adding a little bit of garlic powder just to this. I'm gonna add some minced garlic too, but I'm gonna add some Creole seasoning.
Okay.
So now, this is when I call this a broke dish. This is just what I was making. My mom was at work. It was certain stuff that she would trust me to cook without burning the house down. Okay. Right? The stuff that I was allowed to mess with. And I was, the noodles, put a little pepper in there.
But you were making ramen noodles like this when you were a kid?
Yeah. After a while, I started the more
with the shrimp.
With whatever we had. So if, my mom would make her little shrimp Alfredo and stuff like that. She had a great pasta she used to make. Before all the hood rats was making it as their number one dish, Mom Deuce was doing it for real. Get this garlic in here. This fresh garlic's gonna be fire on this shrimp.
Okay.
And so she would have these little bags of these little shrimp, and I would sneak a couple and, make my little, I love shrimp fried rice, right? But I hated making rice. I still do to this day.
I hate making rice.
I hate making rice.
I don't know why that is.
Because you got to leave it alone. Yeah. I like to manipulate. You know what I'm saying? I like to cook and.
I hate making. You know what? I hate making worse than rice is the jasmine rice. I'd be so nervous I'm gonna mess it up.
Oh man, my wife that's her department, the rice. So when they want rice, I'm adding this shrimp in. Now these are the little baby shrimp. These are little shrimp abortions. I don't even know where these shrimp never saw the light of day. You know what I'm saying? These shrimp ain't lived but 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. I don't even know how they devein those little baby shrimps.
They ain't got no vein. These are shrimp embryos.
Like peel it and stuff. Oh, you're saying that's hilarious.
These some little shrimp embryos. These ain't never.
So you up in here sauteing. This is definitely not what I imagined eating ramen with you would look like.
Really?
And the fact that you're saying that we're not going to use the ramen packet.
We are going to use the ramen packet.
Oh, we are.
We're not going to submerge it in the water. We're going to get this going. It's going to be almost like a, I don't want to call it like a roux, but just like a little base. And we're going to add water to this and then add the seasoning to this. Then add our noodles over here. And then we're going to kind of toss.
So it's going to be like dry. Oh, I'm definitely.
Almost going to be dry. Yeah, exactly. Not so much
Do you like Chinese food?
I love Chinese food.
I love Chinese food.
We had this Chinese food restaurant on 7 Mile and Telegraph called China One. I'm pretty sure it wasn't authentic Chinese food, but man, that shit was fire.
Is it as good as New York Chinese?
No. Yeah. But
no.
I think that the best Chinese food I've ever had was in St. Louis.
Really?
Yeah, they got the best Chinese food out here.
Really?
Yeah. DC got some good Chinese food too, but
I always thought New York
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
No, that be New York problem. Like, man, y'all don't ever have to leave there, so y'all think everything y'all do is.
We got the best pizza, we got the best Chinese, we got the best everything.
Detroit style pizza is fire.
I've had it. I'm be honest. Yeah, I guess it must be in New York. Yeah, but it must be a New York thing because I promise you, ain't nothing messing with our pizza. Every time I go to Detroit, they try to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't impressed with your pizza."
I'm gonna let this come to a little simmer.
I will say though, when I go to Detroit, my ignorant self is still obsessed with 8 Mile, so I'm always like, show me where 8 Mile is, and he'll just point and be like,
"Yeah,
there it is."
Butter in there too. Get that going for real.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn this up.
So take me back to like what's going on during this ramen time. You're at home cooking alone.
Man, so I'm an only child, so I don't have any siblings, right? I'm coming home from school.
Single parent household?
Single parent, man. My mom was single. You know,
but both parents were in your life?
Yeah, but
Okay.
you know, like, you know, my dad was doing his thing. He was across town. He was in a place called Brightmoor. I'm making this dish. I'm in 6th grade, right? At this point, I'm walking to school or taking the city bus. You know, I got a food stamp. I go to the corner store, give me a 25-cent pack of gum or a 25-cent bag of Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
You could do that with food stamps back then? I thought food stamps was limited more than.
Because that was the real stamps.
Yeah.
And then you would get 75-cent real bag, put 50 cents on the bus. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm gonna get some of this corn in here. Do you smell that?
It smells good.
Yeah.
Look at you. He secretly been hanging on the corn, so you should have seen he put a little bit of corn in there, like a mouthful. But
so I'm gonna tell you about corn in our next podcast that we do. I don't want to spoil it, everybody. You know what I'm saying?
And so you making food as a 6th grader.
Coming home watching Power Rangers.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Rushing home to see what's about to happen.
I loved Power Rangers back
Power
in the
Rangers
day.
was so dope back. It was like our real soap opera. You know what I'm saying?
So at this point, do you even know that you're into comedy yet? What's going on in your life?
At this point in my life, I've changed schools a lot. When you got a single mom, you know, she didn't buy a house until I got older. We were renting a lot. So that means changing schools, changing neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? I'm turning that down a little bit. It's starting to saute a little hard. Changing hoods, changing rules to the hood. And so, you know, being funny was kind of like a way to kind of like make some friends and kind of get motherfuckers off my back. You feel me? Like, you know, just like Detroit, we don't have a lot of gangs as it pertains to like Bloods and Crips. It's just like neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I was new to every neighborhood. And so that was that was kind of like a...
Was it like a more natural protective mechanism, or was it just like a... Did you know you were also being funny to survive?
Well, I started to like being funny, right? I started to like what it got me. Like, you know, girls was laughing, and you know, it was people wanted me to be in the friend group. Hey, CP, come, or Chris Powell, come sit with us, because I wasn't CP yet. Chris Powell, come sit with us. You know, he funny, man. I got 4th hour with him. And it just became like, you know, then I started roasting people because people was into that. They really wanted to see me roast people. And I started to kind of like, almost like, you know, I just learned how to kind of fall into that acceptance for myself. Like I liked how it felt. I liked how it felt when people thought I was funny, and you know, people would start saying like, man, you should be a comedian, even when we was kids, right? And it's like, that's like positive reinforcement. That's why I don't let nobody speak bullshit over my kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's only possibilities, right? You know, if they in gymnastics, you could be a gymnast, because it was little stuff like that was like, I'm asking my mom, you know, for like Richard Pryor tapes and Eddie Murphy tapes. She's so excited because that's her level of comedy. She likes that. So me and her and my dad, we would, you know, I would watch it with my dad. I would watch it with my mom. I would get tapes for Christmas. You know,
this is while you were young, right?
I was young, okay. 9 years old.
Okay.
And so, because I first started being funny in like 4th grade. That was when it started to really hit. Like, that's when I started being like, oh, I was at a new school. I had just left a private school and went to a public school. So the curriculum was like super easy. And it was just like, oh, I got enough time to be fooling around. And I started making kids laugh a lot.
But would you consider yourself like a class clown funny, or were you just like...
So I wanted to be class clown bad, right? Like, I remember one time I went to this new school for 8th grade. It was a school for the gifted. We have this MEP test in Michigan in the 7th grade. And I took my MEP test and I got a 98% on it. I was super smart, still, you know. And so they moved me to a school kind of like for the gifted. And I was there for 1 year. And I won class clown, and it was just important to me that I got class clown. Because, you know, it's just like you hear about the mock election and that's what you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be class clown. Looking back, that's stupid. You know what I'm saying? A little bit.
Why do you think so?
I mean, well,
I get it. Trust me. I was voted class loudest. But yeah, basically class clown. I mean, all the teachers signed my yearbooks like, please, whatever you do, don't get into the entertainment business and go to college. And of course, I didn't really take their advice, but whatever. But I think they knew.
Or you good?
I went to college for like 2 years and then I dropped out. But I dropped out to pursue a company that I was building at the time. A little bit more
onions in it. Because you know how you like some of your onions to be a little crisp?
I like all my onions to be grilled, but
nah, you mix them with the insert so you have a little crunch to them too. That's
noodles. What the corn is for.
The corn is not for the crunch.
The corn has an extra texture to it. I'm telling you.
How do these shrimp smell to you?
Everything smells good.
I'm gonna put a little bit more.
I see a lot of white onion in there though, so I'm nervous for you. Well, by the way, I'm very honest about the dish. So if it's like okay, I'm gonna be like, yeah, okay.
No, I feel you. I was in 6th grade. God, Jesus Christ, give me a break.
But hey, I thought you cooked. I
make this now with bigger shrimp. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, and a different kind of onions. But this is all a sauce still. Don't remember, I still got to pour some water in this.
I love how authentically real you're keeping this dish. So I'm judging 6th grade CP right now.
Yeah, this is what he was doing.
Okay.
He didn't care about his little cholesterol. He was, you know what I'm saying?
So is your parents supporting the idea of you wanting to become a comic, or are you voicing it yet officially?
They're supporting it for sure.
Okay.
I'm starting to add,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna use this.
You sound like my daughter when you said uh-oh. That's what we say in my house all the time. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Yeah, for real? Mm-hmm. Yeah, my granddad used to say that when I used to mess up. My mom used to be like, pick that shit up! You know what I'm saying? But...
So they're supporting it. You're watching the tapes of all the iconic comedians.
Right.
Is there any particular comedian that you identified with the most at that time growing up?
Eddie Murphy.
Okay.
At that time, right? I think that Richard Pryor was a little freer than I think I was ready to be at that time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, as a young person, I'm like, what the hell is going on? He talking about all kind of crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, you know, Eddie Murphy was cool though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like women wanted to fuck Eddie Murphy and dudes wanted to be him at the same time. Dudes wasn't really hating on Eddie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Now, it looks like it's gonna be wet, right? But it ain't.
It looks extra liquidy.
Yeah, that's good.
Almost like a soup. But you said there's gonna be just noodles in there, so this is right. Okay. So what's the next milestone for you? Middle school, high school? What age do you actually leave Detroit?
College.
Oh, did you go to college?
Yeah, I went to college.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Now, you go to college. What do you go to college for if you're trying to be a comedian?
Well, that's the thing. Like, you don't actually think you can be a comedian, right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't start like that.
So had you done any shows or anything before college? So you just went straight from high school to college?
I went straight from high school to college. I had done no comedy shows. I would do stuff in school, right? Mm-hmm. I was a part of the drama club, right? So I would like, you know, do plays in school and they would be hilarious. You know, people come down for the assembly and they watch them. You know, I was killing them in those. Mm-hmm. You know, I was in the drama.
At that point, did you know what it would take to be a comedian?
Not at all. And as a matter of fact, like I said, I didn't win class clown in 12th grade, which hurt my feelings. My friends still laugh at me to this day. I was really hurt. Like, I got home from school and I was like punching the air like Cuba Gooding Jr.
Are you serious? It was that important to you?
It was that important to me.
Aww.
But, you know, I was in all honors classes and, you know, those kids, they saw more in me than to be class clown. I'm like, fuck y'all, I want to be class clown.
Well, like, did you get voted something though? Did you get like class
I didn't get voted anything.
Oh yeah, you went home pissed.
I was pissed. Like, wow. But I mean, I was cool with everybody, but I wasn't best dressed. You know what I'm saying? Like my mom, you know, she was doing her best. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember one time she bought me this race car jacket. That was really popular back in the day. The race car, they'd be like Cheerios and you know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. First day I got it, wore it to school, a nigga robbed me.
What?
Yep. Gunpoint.
Gunpoint?
Gunpoint.
At what? You were in high school?
I was in high school.
Oh yeah, Detroit's dangerous, man. I'm sorry. Like even like I'll watch like the Detroit news channel on social media, which is probably the wrong thing to watch, but all you see is like the Coney Island horror stories and stuff.
Oh my God. I'm about to add a little bit of hot sauce.
Were you afraid to tell your mom about the jacket?
A little bit. I'm sorry. We got a few different kind of hot sauces, and I think I'm gonna just use a little bit of this sriracha. Mm-hmm. I usually use Frank's hot sauce back in the day.
Oh.
Yeah. I have some.
Is that why you were looking at that? By the way, if CP ever goes to your house, he does check expiration dates on all food, just so you know.
We be out here killing ourselves, them old ass peanut butters and shit. We don't need that. We need to check your dates.
You don't die from that. You know that, right?
You die slow. You don't die that day.
My rule, as long as there's no mold and as long as you can eat around the mold, you're safe. I know that's old school though.
That's very old school.
That's old school.
That's like that's like famine. That's like you ever watch Walking Dead and they just walk up at somebody's house and start taking their Tylenol? It's like, man, these people died 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? But it's like at that point.
You would actually think that though?
What?
About that they died 2 years ago before you take the Tylenol?
I'm just saying, it's like, God damn, you ain't check the date. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my granddad used to have batteries from the 80s. Like, you throw them double A's in there. Like, these batteries about to blow up.
Yeah, I come from that era. I'm one of those people that like, maybe we could stick the batteries in the freezer and maybe they'll live longer.
So, you see this dish right here.
It looks great, by the way.
So this is just this is what a 6th grader does in trying to learn how to cook. Mm-hmm. And luckily, my mom and my dad were cool enough to let me try little shit like this. Now, I would do something like, I would even put a little bit of cheese in this, like some Gouda or whatever we had in the refrigerator. Yeah, like a little.
I was thinking you were going to say Parmesan.
Oh, Parmesan for sure.
Oh, okay.
Do we have any Parmesan here?
I think so.
We'll go get the Parmesan.
You're hilarious.
Have them go get the Parmesan.
We're going to throw the commercial because CP needs Parmesan. Yeah. And we're back.
So, yeah, like I was saying, I usually would use Parmesan, and that's why I brought some right here. And it's fresh, too. The date says 2024. So we can be
You're hilarious.
Heavy-handed with this.
I love that you be checking the dates. You are heavy-handed for real with it.
I mean, I don't play. When they come to my table at Olive Garden, I be like, man, your arm finna get tired, bro. I'm finna have you shredding that bitch till it turns to an eraser. All right.
I actually don't even like Olive Garden, surprisingly.
I mean, you know.
You know what it is? It's because someone told me that Olive Garden, they really just reheat the food. I heard they don't cook there.
I heard that too.
So ever since I heard that, like every dish to me, all I keep thinking is microwavable TV dinners, and I just don't mess with microwavable TV dinners.
I didn't put a lot of hot sauce on here. I'm gonna let you sauce it to your liking.
Thank you. Ooh, this looks good. Hey guys, this is his dish. You know, back when we first started, we used to have the overhead cam.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It used to be on top, and my team would hate me every time they'd have to put it in. They'd be like, I hate this part. And I'd be like, we need it. We need the overhead shot.
It's necessary to get that overhead shot. Porn created that.
It looks good. I could see where the baby shrimps should be the big shrimps. Mm-hmm. But you know what?
Because you wouldn't have as many. You have about 5 or 6 shrimp in there. You feel me?
You should have dumped the whole thing of shrimp in there.
I thought about that, but then it would have just been like ricey, noodly shrimp.
Okay, here we go.
We're like a scampi almost.
For the taste test. 1, 2, 3. I want to get a shrimp on there. Hold up. See what your 6th grade year old self would.
Yeah. Take that little kick in there. It's a little kick in there.
This actually doesn't remind me of ramen at all because you completely transitioned it. I don't know if that's because I was sucking on a cough drop, but this does not remind me of ramen. The only thing that reminds me of ramen is the noodle. Mm-hmm. I'm impressed.
It's like a little shrimp fried rice.
Pass me your Parmesan cheese.
Ooh, there you go. Get heavy-handed with it. Yeah.
When it comes to butter and cheese, I'm heavy-handed.
That's that New York and y'all love pasta.
We love.
Y'all love carbs.
Yeah, I was gonna say
New York is like a carb. You go to New York, they're like, you want a homemade cereal? Like, goddamn.
Yep.
I taste the garlic in here.
This is delicious. You can, if we were trapped in a hut, homeless, I'll be your little bunker pal.
I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Sit back, watch Power Rangers. You know what I'm saying?
I think there's a chance I put too much Parmesan on it, but...
You changed the texture?
No, I think I just took a bite of too much. But this is delicious. I would have never thought to add onions.
Mm-hmm. The corn, I mean,
I can barely... There's like 3 pieces of corn. Let me try to
I did you a favor.
GMO. GMO. Okay. I'm over it. Back to your business.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you go to college for?
I go to college for... Initially... for veterinary science. Right?
You wanted to be a vet?
I wanted to be a zoologist.
Oh.
Right. I love animals. I still love animals to this day. I got frogs.
I was gonna say I love animals too.
And so, I went to Michigan State. That's one of the biggest schools for that. They have a lot of agriculture and stuff like that. And then I saw that there was kids there who came from farms and stuff who was a lot more advanced and a lot more dedicated than I was. And I'm just a kid from the city who like cats and dogs and shit. And these niggas is like sticking their hand up cows' asses. You know what I'm saying? I was like, whoa, this is too advanced for me. I just want to, I want to see pit bulls and you know what I'm saying?
But you said a zoologist. Didn't you expect to see some kind of foreign animals?
I did, but I think I was more romanticizing the idea. That was something cool. Put it like this: Mike Tyson liked tigers, right? He don't need to be no zoologist.
Yeah.
I just need to get rich and get a tiger. You know what I'm saying? That's all it boiled down to.
And you discovered that in college, while in college, paying for it.
Then I moved to engineering, right? Because my mom and my whole family, they worked at Chrysler. And they always used to be like, man, the engineers make the most money and they don't have to do anything. So we want you to be that.
Okay.
So I'm like, I guess I don't want to do nothing with my life, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I tried engineering. I didn't like it.
That's a lot of math, right?
Yeah.
Ugh.
And a lot of just being alone. Like engineers work alone a lot. And so I was like, I have some love for that. I have a little bit of engineering in me. I have a little bit of lawyer in me. I wanted to be a lawyer at some point. I didn't go to law or anything or pre-law. But I found digital media arts and technology, like broadcast media. And I was like, this is it. Like learning how to do the camera work and the editing and the lighting. Because I felt like I had the talent to be the talent, and you can't teach that. But if I can learn everything else about the business, I can get my degree in that and at least put myself close enough to the game to be able to strike if I ever needed to be able to do it. So that's what I did. So I graduated super high up in my class, like top 15, like number 12. Like it was a big deal.
From college? That is a big deal.
That's a huge deal. From my college, not from the college that year, but from my specific major, I was one of the top 15 students.
Okay.
I directed a movie that got into a film festival. I did some stuff that I really fell in love with the business of show business. And then when I graduated, I started writing commercials. I was working in the mailroom of an advertising agency, trying to work my way up to being a writer. And I finally did it. And then by that time, I was doing comedy at night.
Oh, you were actually going out and doing shows.
Yep. Because at that time, I'm done with college.
And what was that experience for you? Like, was your first time up? Take me to your first time. Did you do good on your first time? Did you bomb?
I got a standing ovation my first time.
Ooh.
And that's what gave me like a
confirmation.
Heroin addiction to the game. That was like, bah! You know what I'm saying? Like, so much so that the very next show I bombed. And it wasn't enough of a downer to
quit,
to drown out the up. I'm like, nah, I still feel good from that last one. Fuck that, I'll figure it out. But yeah, I had been wanting to do it my whole life. My mom came and she saw it was good for her to see it. And it was like, every teacher, like, he talks too much. He jokes around too much. So it was everything, all of that was like, it all came to like a C. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and I'm sure she felt that when I graduated college with all of those accolades. She was pretty like ecstatic then. But this is something different. This is something like, this is like our shit. Like my mom has a crazy sense of humor. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this is what we do.
Well, I mean, being a college graduate, how do you break to your mom that, okay, I graduated from college in broadcasting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, but side note, I also am interested in doing stand up. Is a part of her having conversations with you like, well, what are you going to do for money? Because being in comedy, obviously,
No.
there's like a broke phase, right?
My grandparents, where my granddad was, my aunts, everybody was concerned. My mom was kind of like, you know, I think she knew. Once I graduated college, it was like I did what I could do for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, whatever I do with my life now, y'all gonna have to just roll with it. Like, I graduated college.
Yeah, you did whatever their bars were for
Mm-hmm.
them, and now you get to do what you want.
It is for me.
Okay,
And
awesome.
I feel like that was the most responsible way to be a kid and pay them back for raising me. Was like, look, I did the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, leave me alone. I did the thing.
Yeah.
And everybody can't do the thing.
Yeah.
And everybody doesn't do the thing.
No, a lot of people don't.
And I was the president of my fraternity. I gave them a lot to be proud of, but I needed something for me to be proud of myself for. And, I had to, as long as my mom had my back, I was good. I think if my mom would have discouraged me, I could have quit.
Mm-hmm.
But my mom was like, you can do it. My mom saw me get the standing ovation my first time. She was there.
Oh, she was there on the first one. I was going to ask you, was she at the first one or the second one?
She was at both.
Oh, she was at both. So then what was the conversation going home with her? And the only reason why I asked so much about your mom and your dad is because to me, it gives me a real full picture of who you are. Mm-hmm. But I'm just curious, that conversation going home, you said it didn't, from the second show, it didn't kill it because the first one you did amazing.
Oh,
but
she asked me, like, are you sure this what you want to do?
Okay.
Like, she brought all my cousins and some of my aunts because I had killed so hard the first time. She was like, oh, he's got it.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all got to see this, whatever. They came. I don't drink. Mm-hmm. So people bought me drinks. I had fans. Mm-hmm. Like, I murdered that first time.
Fans?
I had fans.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like, people who were at the bar, like, hey, man, oh, you back? Man, this guy, man, he good. Hey, what you drinking? Mm-hmm. I didn't know what I was drinking. I didn't drink. I'm like, give me your Heineken. I saw the commercials. I didn't know. Mm-hmm. Got fucked up off a brew and a half. Went up there and forgot my jokes and was just trying to roast people, and it just was not funny. And the guy after there got up there and just dogged me out in front of my family, and this is back when, like, I've always, ever since I pledged Kappa, my jeans got a little tighter. Like, I liked it to, I was wearing nice fitted jeans before niggas was doing it. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So 7s and all of that, I was getting them tailored. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we was those guys, you know what I'm saying? So, look at his jeans. He's gay as fuck. And it was just like, in front of my family, it roasted me. I'm like, oh my God.
So your conversation with your mom going home, she starts to question, whether this is something you want to endure.
Right then.
Okay.
Because I went up to her like, how did I do? She's like, not good. Not good. What happened to your jokes? What did you do?
Did she know that you had drank a little bit?
Nah, she just, she's always been supportive, but that day, I think she was embarrassed. She brought people.
But I will say this, it's so important that she was honest with you in that moment versus the opposite. So that relationship, I could see why you trust her guidance, because she can keep it real even when, it doesn't make you feel that great.
Yeah, she tells me, I don't like that joke. I'll be like, Mom, shut up. That's my shit. You know what I'm saying? With all due respect, but yeah, she, she's always had my back about it. And my dad is just so impressed with it. He's like, wow.
Do you feel like by letting your light shine and pursuing and following the rules that they had guided, do you feel like that allows them to let their light shine or other people's light shine?
Yeah,
more
and it puts
around
a
you?
lot of pressure on the other kids that are in my family. I'm the oldest. So it frees them because now their parents can see that swinging for the fences could possibly get you everything, right? But then also it's like, Chris finished college and he did all of it. You could, it's like...
They'd be like, why'd you leave that bar so high?
Right, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to my, my little cousins. They're, they're geniuses. They did all that shit. They did their shit and You know, they got their big dreams and they're doing it. But I think that I made a sharp left from my family, and they were like, "Oh, wait a minute, somebody is doing something different," and you know, it set it up.
And then also, like, I've been to Detroit. That place, I describe it. I don't even think you can describe Detroit. You really have to experience it. Because when I go there, I'm like, how does anyone see their way out? Outside of television would be like, I could imagine the only way.
Maybe.
Sports, but
maybe, and that's just.
But I'm just saying, shot. Like, that environment is so. There's like it's a weird thing to me. It's so unstable because like one block it's like houses, the next block it's a bomb, look like it hit it. You know, it's just. I mean, maybe if I grew up there, I would understand it more. But coming from bigger cities like New York and LA, I'm like, yo, how do you possibly see yourself getting out of Detroit?
It's very simple. You learn to not take anything for granted. I think that watching my kids grow up here in LA, it's like, oh, they got it made. Mm-hmm. You know, they can leave their campus and go to lunch, or they can go outside and switch classes. And like school was different. We were in the school building. You couldn't leave. It was like New York. I've seen New York schools like a jail, like a precinct.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like it's cold, and you know we don't have a lot of light shined on us, and so it's not a lot of attention on us. So the bad shit can excel, but the good shit can excel too.
Yeah. Well, I meet so many successful people that come out of Detroit. You have your what's that Detroit clothing line that's always very prominent? It's like Detroit over everything or something
Detroit
like that.
versus everybody.
Yeah,
one of my
Detroit
best friends.
Everybody. By the way, I've tried to get him on the show. So
who, Tommy?
Yes, I've tried actually. I think I seen him when I was in Detroit, and I had Darius pull over the car like, yo, I need to try to lock him in. But yeah, you guys have had so many successful young entrepreneurs come out of Detroit. I feel like Detroit is really making its own name for itself. Can
I tell you some real shit?
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of old people in the way. Like New York, y'all got a lot of old heads who are tied into what it is, and Detroit is open. Like our old people are not in the way of, you know, you got a couple little baby gatekeepers here and there trying to, but it's like, no, like Detroit is like young niggas run this. And,
it feels like it. It feels like y'all are taking over.
And so if you're doing good, then you are able to connect with people who want to do business with Detroit. They don't have to go through anybody. It's just you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's just you. They ain't got to holler at DJ so-and-so or get the hook up through it. No, it's just you. And, you know, ain't no middleman. All that bread is you, and all that shine is you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are raised to be businessmen and stand on business, whatever it is, whether it's street business, clothing business, you know, we show business, we stand on business at a young age. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you got killers that's 14 and 15 years old. And so it's like, you know, that means that you got people who have peers that are 14 and 15-year-old killers. When I was in 6th grade, niggas was stealing cars.
Yeah, well, you said even just hearing you got robbed at 6th grade at like...
No, I got robbed in 11th grade.
In 11th grade. Even 11th grade at gunpoint is
walking
still...
to school.
Yeah.
Walking to the school. So I was so excited to wear this jacket, right? First of all, let me start right there. I had to beg my mom. The jacket was like $375, which is like, at that time, $4,000.
Yeah.
To a broke mom.
$375, yeah.
$375, right? And my mom, she wanted me to be, you know, she wanted me to be swaggy, you know what I'm saying? You know, women like a kind of certain dude, and, you know, you have a son, you want him to, but she just couldn't afford a lot. And I started to know not to ask for a lot. You know what I'm saying? I just knew, like, you know, my homeboys are coming back with the new J's, and I'd be like, man, that's cool, man. You know, it's just not my time. You know what I'm saying? I had to be responsible. I was the man of the house. I was heating up the car in the morning. I would have to move the car sometime. 12 years old, moving the car for her to go to work. And I would still walk to school. And so, you know, she bought me this jacket. It was a big deal for her. Because I was a responsible kid and she wanted to do something to show me that, you know what I'm saying?
She appreciated you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know.
She keeping up and paying attention.
Exactly. Yeah. And I had the Chevrolet when it was black. It said Chevrolet on the front. So the dudes, they had passed us. And I noticed, I'm like, and we walk in, and they kind of like a half a block up. They pull into like a driveway to block us. So I'm like, that's weird. They blocking them. Let me go around the car. Go around the car. The dude in the passenger seat gets out the car, comes around, faces me. It was so crazy. You know what it is. My homeboy just kept walking. It was almost like he was talking to me. I stopped. He just kept talking to me like, yeah. He just kept walking.
I'm sorry.
And my man put a little nickel plated, like a little 22, 25. It wasn't nothing crazy. He was a dweeb. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? In my stomach, man. Don't make me blast your ass for this jacket, nigga. I'm like, oh man. I was scared. I had my Big Timer CD in the pocket. Mm-hmm. I was big on Cash Money back then. I had my Big Timer CD in the pocket, and I had my house keys in the other pocket. And I just remember like taking my jacket off and shaking it so my house keys came out on the ground so I could pick them up. Mm-hmm. Cause I didn't want the nigga to have my keys. Mm-hmm. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? And then I just gave the nigga my jacket.
Did you lose the CD?
Lost the CD and never got it back. Of course I downloaded it later, whatever. Yeah. And they got in the car and dipped, and I called back up to Rob. And nigga, I just got robbed. He's like, for real? Like, nigga, yeah, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Was your friend black or white, Rob?
He was black. And so
Rob is hilarious. Shout outs to Rob.
Shout out to Rob. And so
Rob for not having CP's back while he was being robbed.
Yeah. What was he gonna do though? You know what I'm saying? And then you also learn to mind your business, right? Yeah. I could have been selling drugs and my man wanted to buy something or whatever. You know not to pay attention to people's stuff. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So Rob ain't no hoe ass nigga. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say he ain't no hoe, Okay. And so...
that was nice how you had his back just now.
And so I got to my counselor's office, who at the time, my counselor was my cousin, because remember I told you that I went to that school for the gifted. Mm-hmm. And I won class clown in 8th grade. Mm-hmm. That school allowed me to get into a gifted high school called Cass Tech, like one of the schools of choice in Detroit. Mm-hmm. But when I got in there, I'm fresh off the class clown campaign, and I'm going dumb, pulling the fire alarm. I'm dancing.
Oh, you pulling fire alarms?
Oh my God!
They didn't vote you class clown?
I had to. No, this is in 9th grade.
Okay.
Right, but this is a different school. I got kicked out of that school. Mm-hmm. So my mom was very hurt. Mm-hmm. And so that's another thing. You buying me this jacket, mean that you forgive me for getting kicked out of that school and embarrassing the family. Because it's a big deal to go to that school, and everybody telling everybody, Chris up in Cass now. Yeah, we just trying to keep his grades. Nigga, I was in that bitch. I had 65 absences. I was leaving class, going to different seniors. So the seniors be like, come on, that's the guy that can roast real good. Mm-hmm. Pull me into the lunch. I'm roasting in lunch. I didn't realize I'm doing it every day for months, right? And so, kicked out. I had to go to this hood school. So that's why I got robbed at the hood school. And so, it's just, I had to beg my mom to, I'm going to be safe. And then I wasn't safe. And so I had to go to my counselor's office and call my mom and tell her. She was hysterical, which that kind of made me sad, like, because of how mad and sad she was. And to feel like she felt helpless, like, dang, somebody could have shot you for some shit I bought you, and I know better, and I didn't trust my judgment, and I let you think you know everything. People are killing people for these clothes. I'm like, fuck. You know what I'm saying? So, and then, it's just, I just remember like man, I'm gonna start buying my own shit. Like, I don't want her to be, like, once I felt it, I'm like, all right, cool. I don't need to be asking my mom for shit. Mm-hmm. I'm 16, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got a job. I started working at Victoria's Secret.
Well, as your first 16-year-old?
No. My first 16-year-old job was at Target.
Okay, but how'd you end up at Victoria's Secret?
Me and my boy Marcus, we went to the mall, and so we just like, let's fill out some applications and shit. And so we fill in our applications, and we go up in Victoria's Secret because this is a young girl at the desk. So we go in and like, what up, though? What's up with you? We flirting heavy with her. She's like, y'all stupid. Whatever. I'm like, we feeling like, she's like, get out of here. I'm trying to get a job. Just saying it. Oh yeah, she gave us both applications. Y'all fill out the applications then. And then so we had to interview like a couple of days later. We went. And so Marcus went to the interview too. And I guess he couldn't believe it because he's like, nigga, I'm not finna work here for real. I'm like, nigga, I'm finna work in this bitch.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's actually pretty smart for a guy. I never even thought of that.
Man, all I did was stock the lotions. So I would be in the back listening to the radio, and they'd be like, "We need pearless pear and strawberry yogurt cream," and I run out with this the lotion, or that we getting low. I was seasonal. It was over the holiday break, so I would stock the shelves, and I started dressing a little like I had my little Gucci loafers, and you know what I'm saying, like I was the plug. Like I had the little hookup, I had a little discount. You know what I'm saying. I saw some shit in there that I was like, oh my God, my eyes. You know what I'm saying? And them old lady titties and shit. And you know what I'm saying? Just like, I saw girls in there getting fitted for their first bra. Like girls I knew, like we the same age. I'm like, oh shit, she getting them titties fitted. You know what I'm saying? Like, I saw like porn stars and strippers coming in there getting stuff that they would order from the catalog and then we get sent to the store. You know what I'm saying? So they be in the back trying it on, and that should be looking like, God damn, I'm a young nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? It was a cool job, man. I would bring stuff for my aunties and my mom for Christmas, you know what I'm saying? Like little sets and stuff for like the perfumes. I worked there for like 6-7 months.
Hilarious.
Got the fuck on.
Let's fast forward back to you deciding to move forward with your comedy career. How long did it take for you to start actually materializing it into like a career that could fund your life?
So I was coming to work late every day because I was out late at night at the clubs. And I had been doing some big shows around the city. My reputation was just getting out. I was really smart. And so that comedy was coming across. It was just, I was a young, fresh comic, And so
and you were staying in Detroit doing clubs. You didn't leave yet, right?
No, I was in Detroit. I had never left. I had never been.
You never went to New York or anything to test out. Okay.
Nowhere. Oof. And so I just remember like coming to work one day, and I had just sold this commercial for Walmart. And it was like a big time Christmas commercial, and everybody was excited about it. So, my boss, who now, his name was DeTavio Samuels. He now runs.
I know him. The
Revolt.
CEO of Revolt. He was on our show.
Yeah, he's the CEO of Revolt. Yeah. But DeTavio was my boss back then.
You were at the
Global
agency
Hue. Global Hue.
Okay, yeah. He told us about that agency. Okay.
And so, a lot of stars came out of the agency too. Just they were really good at finding young, uncultivated talent, and they just grew us. So DeTavio told me, like, look, we lost scope. The recession was hitting in hard. It's like 08, 09. We lost scope from Walmart. They don't need our team to be this big. We need to let somebody go. It's not you because you're killing it, but we also know that you don't really want to be here, and you starting to blow up in your comedy thing or whatever. You can save somebody else's job, right? It was a girl on my team who just got married. Other people was, they had kids and shit. And I'm like, shit, I can get out of here. And they're going to give me a nice severance package. And then they're going to let me get full unemployment. So for like 2.5 years, I walked out of there with a nice goodbye package. Plus I was getting paid like $800 every 2 weeks. I just started blowing up, traveling to colleges, and I would open up for like Wiz Khalifa here. I just started, like making a name for myself.
Wow. So that 2.5 years bought you time to just focus.
Yeah, just focus on that.
By the time the 2.5 years were up, with dedicated focus, it was enough to support yourself?
Yeah, by the time, I'm going to tell you like this. So the 2.5 years, by the time the 2.5 years come up, now I'm a new dad, right? The last day that I got my last check, my viral video, Shit Detroit Niggas Say, went viral. And from that day forward, comedy been paying all my bills.
Wow.
Like from that day forward, it was like Valentine's Day 2012. From that day forward, it was like, I went viral on World Star and YouTube. And back then, I was a big, super huge deal. And
then were you receiving checks from those videos, or were you just...
Yeah, I was getting checks from those videos, and I was just getting booked. But then also, I wasn't a one-trick pony, so I started doing the puppeteering around that time. And so I came out with Reggie Bo. And Reggie Bo was a puppet that was representing regular weed at the time. And so it was just something else to go viral on besides the Shit Detroit Niggas Say. And then it became like, oh, this guy has stuff. And then producers from Hollywood started calling me. And then that's when I started selling TV shows.
Wow. And then you're as a producer / writer or
Yes.
wow.
Yeah, producer / writer, and then of course I would act on them if they, I shot a couple of pilots, and they would go or they wouldn't go. You know what I'm saying? Depends. Nothing really went because even when it did go, it would get canceled. It's just how the game goes. But that money was enough to, you get into this producing game and you're selling shows. First of all, you got to have thick skin and you got to have more than one idea, because if your idea doesn't go, you dead in the water, right? So, I learned how to have thick skin. I learned how to maneuver this IP. I use IP like real estate. Some shows I'm gonna fix up and I'm gonna want to live in it. It's gonna want to be my show. Other shows, you just sell it and it's somebody else's, and and it's just like that's where I built up my family. That's what we sustain off of. You know what I'm saying?
Was the shows.
Right. Well, now I understand that.
Well, I understand it. Now, you during those 2.5 years, you start to get out of Detroit, it sounds like, right? What was that pivotal moment where, well, I guess when you left, you knew that there was no turning back, right?
No. So like what happened was, during that 2 years, I started really getting my name hot in Detroit.
Okay.
And then I started doing the viral video, and I did that one viral video at the end of that 2 years. After that, I was really hot in Detroit. Now I'm famous in Detroit, right? Now I'm starting to do the radio. So now I became a radio personality first.
Okay.
And so that's what got me to all the celebrities and everybody who would come through the city. I would be able to have a one-on-one with them on the air. And then my good friend Tone Foster, I asked him, like, yo, give me a ride to Chicago, bro. I didn't have a car. They give me a ride to Chicago, man. They got these auditions for this show called Empire, and they sent me down there for audition. My boy drove me down there, did the audition, and I got the role. And I had to move to Chicago, so I had to leave the radio station. So now I'm living in Chicago, shooting Empire, and I'm going up in the Chicago comedy scene. And now I'm blowing up in that scene. And it's like, oh shit, like, I'm good in 2 states. Like, I'm good in Michigan and I'm good in Illinois. So now it's like, well, in the middle of that, producers are still reaching out to me. I end up selling the show.
How do you get on the radar where they're saying you're able to sell shows? Because you booked a role as an actor, but where does the pivot come in where you get the opportunity to sell a show?
So it's a crazy bunch of ways to do it. But back then, there wasn't a huge amount of online YouTube creators, right? And so the ones that were out there had a spotlight on them because, they were trying to show the power of this new medium. Like, you can go to YouTube and you can, so they were scouring YouTube for these guys.
Okay.
And so I just was one of those guys who, they liked my mix of, I'm doing the skit, then I'm doing another skit, me and my boy Ron Taylor doing a skit, then I'm doing a skit with Darius and Jeff Horst and all these guys.
Oh.
And then I did Reggie Bo, and then that had them like, wait, he has a puppet? And so I started getting calls. And so one guy called me and was like, man, I could take you to Martin Lawrence, man. I could have you a part of the crew. And I'm like, all right. The other dude hit me, was like, I can show you how to produce and own your own content with networks. And I'm like, shit, I'm rolling with that.
Hell yeah.
And so that's what he did. Shout out to him. This dude's name was Chip. And he taught me how to write. And, he was a producer on like King of the Hill back in the day. So he knew people. And so, I, like any business, you get to network, right? And so you build triads, which is like somebody introduces you to a person. And so the 3 of y'all have a connection through the person who introduced you. And so Chip would introduce me around town to these people. And then I started like having stuff to bring them. Like, I got this idea, and then, oh, that's dope. And then we would work and start building the ideas. And he would get the meeting set, and I'm really good at pitching because I just was selling commercials.
Yeah.
And so it's crazy how your whole story lends itself to the next chapter. I was writing and selling commercials, and I had to pitch 30 seconds to somebody.
You would do it like how when you watch it on TV and the person stands in front of the room and they do their pitch? That was you?
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm just trying to envision it.
It'd be on like a video call with like our clients that are somewhere else. And I'm running down the schematic, and it's going to be like this. And then the little girl says, "That's just Walmart." And everybody like, "Oh!" Right? And so pitching 30 seconds is hard as hell.
Hell yeah.
Way harder than pitching 30 minutes. So now I'm getting these rooms, and I'm like, and then page 2. And they're like, okay. And it's like, I'm learning that, like, everything I learned in that process before, I'm using it here, and it's killing.
It's like God had like a whole plan for you.
He had a plan for me. And what happens is, then you look up, and a lot of people who are just new into the game don't have these kind of pitching skills. And then a lot of people who've been in the game don't have fresh ideas. So now here I am, a person with fresh ideas and a way to pitch where I can really do it, and I'm just selling show after show. Like I looked up and I had sold like 11 shows. And I'm like, oh shit. Like I just keep selling them.
Hell yeah.
I just sold one like 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying?
Like, CP.
I'm just saying, like, right, but that's what I do. And so, like, you know, it became like I'm getting more popular for this than the stand-up. People are respecting me, and I had to, now I'm living in Hollywood. So I lived in Detroit, Chicago. Now I'm in Hollywood, and I started doing comedy in Hollywood, and then I'm blowing up. And that was like, now we got 3 states where I'm good. And so, you know, blowing up in Hollywood, you know, and then I've even done it in New York. I lived in New York for 7 months. Blew up in New York. And I did it in Atlanta. I went to Atlanta for a couple months. Blew up in the little Atlanta comedy scene. That was it. So then it just became like, I'm good. And I just need to just be like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And so the fight was to make sure that I could still do my stand-up in the midst of doing all of this producing that I've been doing.
Yeah, how do you do that?
I just be tired. You know what I'm saying? Like,
if you had to choose now between producing, writing, and your comedy, out of all of them, which is the job that gives you the most fulfillment?
Stand up, because that's personal, right? Acting because of what I can do for my family. Like when I act, you know, that's like the big money. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like,
I would think selling the shows was the biggest money.
No,
I'm wrong?
Selling the shows is the second biggest money. Acting is the first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like because you just, you know, like I'm talking about real acting, like not like guest starring. Like I starred on like Love Life where I did 10 episodes and it's HBO and it's like you're number 4 on the call sheet. Like it's you're like, you know, top 5 priority for this HBO show. Like it's life-changing kind of money. Producing is like you finally getting 6 figures. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, okay, we doing it. And then you produce a lot, you know, you can add it up. But acting is like, bam, you here. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So what I would like to do is do stand-up and have them pay me like I'm acting. Okay.
Well, I think that can't be too far around the corner for you, right?
I don't think so. But I have to, you know, you just got to have faith. You don't know what's around the corner. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, the production part of it, it's just, as a creative, it's a little slow. I'll be like, you know, shows take 2 years to come out. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm ready for it to come out, and I'm getting older. You know what I'm saying? But
when they buy the show, why are you still waiting for it to come out? But is it not just a smooth one done shake hand transaction, or they keep you on as a writer? And
no, so they buy the show. When you sell a show, you sell a concept. They want to buy that, right? Okay, so we like that. We want that. Okay, cool. We'll give you, let's say, we'll give you $200,000 to do that. Okay, we need the script wrote. We need the Bible designed. We need the, you know, the concept and all of that, outlines, everything. And then we'll decide if we want to do this show.
After they've given you $200,000?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like, that's why you got to have thick skin, because you can't be glued to it. Because once they say, no, we're good, it's over.
What do you mean it's over?
It's over. Like, they bought that from you.
Oh, meaning like it gets dead in the ground?
And then you can go to somebody else and say, hey, if you guys like it, you guys can pay them $200,000 and they'll sell it to you, and then you can work with me on it.
Oh, okay.
Like you have to get it in turnaround. But they like, we bought this and we paid for it. Yeah. So it's ours, but we don't want it.
Damn.
Yeah.
So, but when you had mentioned that sometimes you'll be waiting around, like, when is it going to drop? Why do you have that part? Like, what are you waiting for? If you've gotten paid
You're
for
waiting
your
to get
part,
greenlit, right? You're waiting for it to start. Like,
why do you get another check once it starts?
that's when you start that 200,000. You get that now every episode.
Oh,
so they pay you
yeah.
one time for that. This is what you'll get.
Okay.
Now you're like, nigga, I want this 10 times.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want it 20 times.
I want it for you.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happens. So now it's like you get a taste and then it's gone. And so for some people, that's it.
Yeah.
They never do that again, right? They hope you budgeted it good. And for me, it's like I need to do it over and over and over again. This show is about this. And so the thing is like, a lot of people don't have enough good shit to go right back to them and be like, all right, but check this one out. This one stars a little boy and you know, and they like, nah, you had one and it was good and that's it. Me, when they see me coming, they're like, oh, what do you got for us, CP?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and it bodes well for me because just because it didn't go doesn't mean that they don't respect your writing or respect how you think. So then they'll call me like, hey, these other people, they sold the show, but they need help with their pitch or they need help with their, we'll pay you to come in and help them. And then there's money in that too.
Now, I'm just curious, with everything you've learned about the entertainment business and the highs and lows, do you feel like you are good with managing money, or do you kind of still live
I think that I talked to my mom about this the other day, and it's like, she was like, I didn't raise you to be good with money, and we have to figure out how to break that curse in our family of money just coming through us. You know what I'm saying? We need to figure out how to build our generational wealth where we're doing things like we invested in some French bulldogs and now we got puppies. And so, that's like one of our investments that we did together that we're seeing come back in dividends because it's like, wow, like this is how it goes. You have to invest your money. You can't just buy everything you like. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a point where I'm like, well, I'll sell another show. And then I'll sell another show. And then I'll just sell another show. Oh, we need that? Oh, I'll sell another show.
Okay.
But then the problem is then we have a strike.
Yeah.
And the strike is like...
The strike is taking forever, by the way.
Right.
Oh, my God.
So now it's like, oh, shit, like, I can't sell another show.
But even during the pandemic, were you coasting fine?
Yeah. During the pandemic, I was able to... Like, I still have my puppeteer fan base. So, like, they still, like, Reggie Boy has a whole following and merch and all of that. But then also, I just really got into my creative bag. Like, a lot of my friends who do comedy and people who are just in the business, they need the industry. All I need is my own setup because I have my degree in digital. So I'm setting up I have my own studio. I set up.
Yeah, you have, like, your background is, it's almost like I definitely say I'll call it God's plan more than anything, because every milestone you hit, even by holding true to what your family wanted, that level of integrity kind of blessed you indefinitely. Yeah,
because I mean, like, that skills that I got from college, the network. Like I said, I was a Kappa, so like, now I am a noob, so now I got all that network plus the stuff that I really learned. And it's one of the best colleges in the world. So now it's like, I have that vast network of professors who are proud of me, and I got this person who wants to do this for you, and it's just like, yeah, everything works. And during the pandemic, I just woke up one day and it was like, get to work. I got on Amazon, ordered the whole studio. It was like $800 to get some cheap, like they were looking like those, but they were cheap. You know what I'm saying? A couple cameras that I already had, some tripods. I got a backdrop, blue screen. I ordered a table and a chair, and I just set it up. And I was like, hey, y'all. It's me, and I'm here, and I don't know what I'm doing here, but this is what I was told to do, and now it just,
wow.
And you know what I'm saying, like, so
would you say, I mean, based on this conversation, have you cracked the budget nutshell or like how to master your finances yet?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I just, it's a lot of work to undo years of being in debt. You know what I'm saying, like paying off stuff. Just like I'm the light is at the end of the tunnel.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the light is at the end. But you have kids, and it's just like, dog, they just bleed money. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just, yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. I I got better with money after, I think I was like 23, and I got liens on all my stuff from the state of California. And that's when I was like, taxes. And I was like, let me get one-on-one with an accountant and like really kind of ask all these questions. And I started to like really sit down. Like, you know, usually you hand in your taxes to your accountant, you just 5 minutes, get in and get out. Now me, I was like, no, we gonna teach me what I was doing wrong to end up in a situation where, you know, the state is gonna repo my car. How is the state of California gonna repossess my car? Like, that don't even make sense.
That you bought and it was just yours?
But the state of California, I had to learn at a very young age, was way more dangerous than the IRS. The IRS will like make payment plans, but state was like, you pay me all my money up front, and we don't want $5 today. We want all our money, and then when we get all our money, we remove all the liens. And that's when I was like, okay, you know, I'm a school up and handle my money differently. And then when I bought my first house, that was another learning lesson where it was like, wait, the bank wants to know why I was moving money from this account to this account, and what was this purchase and that purchase. Because every time I had a business, I would mix up all my funds. I'd be like, oh, well, you know, cash flow problems. And before you know it, after hitting my head a couple times now, I'm a true Jew, not just by nationality, but I am an obsessively, and Darius knows this, like, I'm so good with money, and I give out credit. I brag about it, because I do believe if you have really great credit, your job in life is to gift other people with it, but also teach them. Mm-hmm. But I give away, and I don't mind.
What do you mean giving away credit?
So when you have someone like, I have an 858 FICO, and I'm proud of it, but
that's amazing.
If you have, say, 600 FICO, all I would do is say, you know, CP, give me your information. I'll add you to one of my cards. By me doing that, I'll probably give you 100 points just off that.
Wow.
So I give out all my friends, I give them credit. I'm very invested in there. And they all call me when they're having money issues, because I'm like, yo, there's no reason to be prideful about it. Like, you see me go broke 100 times. But it was funny. Yesterday I bought a car.
That's business.
Yeah, but I bought a car yesterday, and afterwards I went, you know, I had to run an errand with my daughter. I was talking to a friend, and I was like, man, you know, the guy before me, it took so long. For me, it took like 30 minutes. And he was saying, like, you know, when he buys all his vehicles, one, he put it under his name. I'm like, why the F would you ever put a vehicle under your name? It's a liability. It ruins your debt to income ratio and all this list. But one of the things I realized is, like, the failure to manage money and to understand credit really holds you back. The reason why I was able to buy a car with virtually nothing down, no income checks, nothing, was because I had the magic FICO score of, F you, give me my car, you know, attitude. And even when I said,
but doesn't your score go down every time you do stuff like that?
No. So your score, you have like up to 4 inquiries a year that you can get, but it dips your score a little bit. The things that ruin your score is really your debt to income ratio and your ability to pay off debt. So I believe in paying off all debt within 30 days. And the only debt that I like to keep is assets. And then anything that's a liability needs to go under a company, because you can write it all off, you know? Like cars, with the exception of Darius's new Chevy Caprice or whatever. I'm like, you could keep that car because it's appreciating. But the regular cars that depreciate, they need to be under your company. Everything needs to be under your company.
You got to school me.
And then, I also, I live on a modest salary. And then I put all my companies as an S Corp, and then I do a draw on the profits at the end, which I think everyone swears by LLC. LLC.
No, I do S Corps, but like my lawyer set that up.
S Corps are the best. Like, I remember my accountants for 5 years saying like S Corp. But in my brain, I was so ashamed. I would be like, well, they probably just want me to spend more money. And it was a simple filing. It didn't even cost me any money. It was, they just turned the C into the S. And, and I was like, I saved so much money. I was like, you're so stupid, ho. Why didn't you just tell them to do it? But my ignorance was like, yeah.
First thing they did was set me up an
S Corp. S Corp is the best way. And then I love this because if you're buying real estate, if you do an S Corp and you set yourself as an employee, if you're self-employed, they count your income after tax. If you are employed, which if you get on ADP under your S Corp, you're employed, then you get the best of both worlds. You get to buy a home based on your income before tax. So you can buy more home.
Yeah.
So like there's different tricks where you're like, wait, and as an S Corp, you can do both. So I love it. So yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna be hitting y'all up for sure.
Hit me up. I love it. And Darius, obviously, could you imagine being married to someone that's like, how did you spend that money?
No, not from Detroit. We from the D. Like we just get $1, spend $1. And that's what
how
it
he is. And let me tell you something. The second I hear him in a mall, I'm like, get the fuck out of the mall. No, and I get it. He's a comic, but I'm like, if your checks were all getting written to your corp, sure. But these clothes, we can't do nothing with them because your paperwork isn't ran right.
So what do you mean? Like, so if they were paying him to his company, then the clothes that he buys, he could just
everything.
Write them
off. So everything I buy is written off. What I do is I put everything on my Amex, which is a cool cheat, is that most of these credit cards are breaking it down for you. So at the end of the year, you just give your Amex spreadsheet, because they do it for you, turn it into your accountant, and then just write off everything on there. Because it breaks it down versus you having to keep tabs on it. Look, this whole podcast turned into a financial lesson, but no, I would love to collab. I love talking about budgeting and financial literacy, and every time I drop a little snippet on my personal page, I'll get DMs from everybody like, please drop more. And I'm like, I will eventually.
You got some jewels on me for sure.
But yeah, it's definitely, especially like in the state of California, if you are self-employed, like just comedian CP, you're going to get taxed more. But you're on an S Corp, so you're being taxed right. But the goal is to liabilities go on Corp. Assets home.
What if so are you stuck? Like, let's say my car is already in my name. Can I just switch them to my company at any time?
No, but there's still a way. So like what I was doing
not like a car note. Like, you talk about a car you just cash out.
You cashed out a car in your own name?
Maybe.
No, you got to buy that, because if you buy a car cash out, 50% right off the top is tax write-off. So if you bought a car for $100K, $50K right off the top.
For my company or just for me?
For your company. For you, it's I don't think you get as many benefits. Like, I just bought this car, I just switched it to my name, and the dealer had the nerve to catch a little attitude, and I was just like, bruh, either you switch it to my name, and then here's the funny thing. So the way insurance works, it's a little tricky. So I was telling Darius at like 7 this morning, like, guess what I did? So the insurance company, the dealer wanted like the insurance to come out a certain way, and they sent me a PDF. And luckily, with computers now, you could just edit it, and they wanted the layout a certain way. So I had the insurance, but they just wanted it to lay out without my name or Darius' name on it. So I just went and edited the PDF and sent it to the dealer and got it approved. I was like, I'm gangster. Like, and I was bragging to Darius, and Darius probably was like, what are you even talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. That's how I get down. Not even I know illegal shit, but like, yeah. Like,
yeah, I mean, the insurance is legit, but they want to see it laid out a certain way. It's like, yo, I'm not even going to argue with you. I'm not going to argue with the insurance company. Y'all can't agree. Y'all don't want to talk to each other. I'm going to edit this. What do you want? You want my name's gone? Edit and send it in. And, but truthfully, a lot of people don't spend enough time talking about money and how it works. And in the state of California, we're being taxed so hard that you have to be smart with it.
Man, I gotta get you with my wife, man. She would love this conversation for sure.
She would, until you go to the mall, and then you'd be like, ugh.
Oh, I mean, I spend too much goddamn time at the mall anyway. That's my problem. I need to get out of there.
Yeah. So what advice would you give to someone coming up in the game, specifically from Detroit? And matter of fact, no, we're not going to specific from Detroit, but a young person coming up in the game, pursuing to be a class clown, but doesn't really know what their journey is going to be, and being broke.
So young, as in they're in high school?
Yeah, a young person.
I mean, if you're in high school, I would say...
let's not do high school. Let's do like 30, because I think my demo's 30 and above.
Got you. 30, that's even better. I would say, get a YouTube channel. Start your YouTube channel. 1 or 2 subscribers, don't even matter. Start your YouTube channel so you have a place to land your media that's not a social media platform, and then repost your stuff to your Instagram, first of all. Just to start, right? People are gonna catch fire to you one day, and they're gonna want to go back and look at what you've done. Never stop moving. Never stop moving. Never stop learning. Learn everything that you need to know about what it's gonna take to make you shine, right? So you need to learn how to be your own cameraman. You need to learn how to light yourself. You need to learn how to like just practice, like doing all of the things that you want somebody else to do for you and who you want to hire and all of that. You got to do it yourself first, period. Like you have to be your first client. You have to be your first everything. Like, so don't expect people to just buy into your shit because you're saying that you want to do it. Unfortunately, everybody says that and everybody wants to do it. So you have to be the first person to be your first everything. You got to be your first manager. You got to be okay with that, right? Like the more people you get to buy in, the less you have to do and the more rest you can get. But in the meantime, you got to jump. You cannot be lazy.
Yeah.
You can't be lazy with it. You have to do it. Like whatever it takes. And it's kind of like we know what it takes. We just need somebody to tell us. But you don't need nobody to tell you. You know exactly what you're supposed to do.
But now what would you say if they're like, well, what if I do it and a year in or 2 years in, we only have like 100 followers? Do I give up then or do I keep going?
Nah, don't. I mean, like, it depends on how important it is to you, right? So, like, after 2 years of being in it, you have enough content where you can start to assess yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where did you see strength? Where did you see weakness? Where did you see the most success? What do people like about you the most? And then start to accentuate those things and keep going. Like, you don't blow up till you blow up. Everything is practice until then. So It's like you got to settle into the fact that it's going to be a journey and fall in love with the journey of it. Like, if you can't see yourself loving doing this every day, then this is probably not what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, you know, if you don't want to work out and go in the gym and be buff, then you don't want to play football.
Yeah.
You just want to toss the ball around. Go to a tailgate and play catch.
I like how you kind of talked about it in the zoology sense. Like, you know, maybe you should just, you know,
get rich and get a tiger.
Get rich and get a tiger.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for coming and feeding me.
Man,
I'm thankful to have you, thankful to know you, thankful that my husband has someone as dope as you in his life.
Shout out Darius.
Shout out to Darius. And you could cook for me anytime with the way you cook, all right? Just, you know, add a little bit more corn.
Oh, God.
Anyways, where can guests or fans keep up with you and follow up with you?
Yeah, man. People can follow me at Comedian CP. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have a podcast called the CP Podcast. I would love to have you come on my podcast and talk financial literacy. That'd be so dope.
I would love to. Where do you guys tape out of?
In Selmar.
Okay. You're always welcome to use our studio, by the way.
Okay. Oh,
it sits here collecting dust most of the time.
That's good to know. That's great to know. But then I have everything is Comedian CP. So YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, everything is Comedian CP. I have a Patreon you can join if you want to keep up with the podcast and be able to add to the conversation by being in a live broadcast of the podcast before it comes out to the world. And that's it, man. I have a new tour starting in January called the Dark Side of the Moon Tour. We just finished my first tour called CP Was Here. Mm-hmm. And so they're all like in conjunction, like sequels of each other. So the part 2 is called Dark Side of the Moon. It is the wintertime tour. It's going to be dope. We starting in DC, I think. Yeah, man, just keeping it moving. So, yeah.
All right. Comedian CP. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Check us out anywhere you get your podcast. Peace.